Hey folks. I'm pretty sure this is just going to be a short update because it helps us to log what's been happening, and it might help us looking back, and it might help other people looking in because it might be a similar situation. And sometimes it's like kind of easier to see patterns of stuff when you're looking at it from videos. So I don't feel like a lot's been happening, but maybe once I start talking, it'll kind of turn out that it has been, or maybe if we watch these videos back, we'll be like, oh, well, that makes sense, like slotted into place with these things. So yesterday sucked a bit, not massively, but just because I couldn't front. Because we get that sometimes where it's like, I don't know what it is. It's like I can get right up to the front and I can be like looking over one of our host's shoulders, but I can't like everything I say just comes out inside. Nothing I say comes out of the mouth, even though I feel like I'm close enough to take the front. It's like there's just nothing. There's no feeling of like even a way through. It's like there's just like no connection to this world. But it's right there, and I'm so confused by it. So I don't get what that's about yet. But it sucks. Today I've been able to front though. I even got dressed. And I'm really blue. And my jeans are blue too. So I'm like ultra blue. Ah. And we made a pie, which is the main thing today. It was delicious. It was the best pie ever. It was like strawberry. And the crust was really fun to make. And it was really nicely buttered. So it like, hey buddy. So it was all like, it's nicely salted. And it all stuck together while I was making it. So I was really happy about that. Oh, it's been really nice to be able to front again today. Valentine and Kyrie are like, I think processing trauma stuff, but it's stuff that I don't have any. It's stuff that I'm being protected from or kept away from. So they're like strategizing sometimes and talking, but I get blocked out either with me in the front and them just behind me on like, because we got a van. So it's like, I'm in the front driver's seat right now, and there's like, it's like a bench, so there's people could be right next to me, and like there's no back. There's just like a little bit of back to some of the bench, so it's all really open, and there's like a mattressy bit behind, and mostly they're just sat there talking and like strategizing over how to process the trauma that they're currently processing, and how to deal with the challenges they're facing to help integrate information, I guess, and help their fusions, because it's like a constant thing of like becoming what, well, two concise people between them, but like from what used to be their whole subsystems and into like one person, but both of them doing it. So there's like stuff that'll come up that in day-to-day life that like mirrors the dynamics of trauma and stuff, and it seems like a lot of talking about how to react differently in a way that helps them stay authentic and true to every part of them without uh, dismissing or like leaving any part of them behind, which would mess up how they're fusing. So a lot of time just like sitting and talking and practicing. It used to be arguing our whole lives. It was like really bad shouting, and now it's like strategizing in a slightly passionate tone, and there's a lot of banter, which is kind of funny. Which is way nicer. But I can't hear them. I can just hear like mumbled talking just behind me. But it still feels like they're really close, which is nice. Because it's like, I guess a couple of years ago or a year ago, if I was blocked off from something, I'd feel totally alone and like really small and alone in a void. And I don't feel like that at all now. I feel like I'm in a well lit, comfy van with pillows all around me. and there's like this feeling of comfort and the others being close by. I know that D isn't far as well. And they're right there even if I can't hear what they're talking about. Or I get blocked in the van, which is fine because I can like read comics and stuff or play on the Game Boy in there. But they get blocked into the front sometimes. So it's like if they're working through stuff that I can't access or that I'm getting protected from, we kind of get blocked either side of each other while they're thinking and feeling on it, I guess. And then once they reach some sort of resolution or like temporary step forwards or like are able to sort of move to thinking about and feeling about something else, then the it's like the muffled, they get clearer and closer, so then I can hear them again. So it's kind of like that at the minute, but it doesn't feel bad because like every so often they'll check in on me or they'll talk to me, or if I'm inside I'm with other people in there as well. So it's just like a lot more connected and a lot more open than it used to be. And I made pie with Ryan, and Kyrie helped a bit as well. And it's delicious, it's such good pie. And I've been zooming with friends today, which has been awesome. I love our friends so much. We're so lucky. So we've got loads of support around us, and it feels like way less scary than it used to. Like for a second, it felt like I could almost connect to what they were talking about, and I kind of felt like it was something like that would take me back pretty young, and it feels pretty dark. But instead of feeling like I have to desperately avoid that and like I can't even mention it in case it gets dragged back there, I feel like I can even talk about it, and I still like that dark feeling of hopelessness and icy dread won't come over me because I don't get taken away from them or away from the room I'm in now. Like I know that it's here, and if I start to like, if anything really makes me dissociate, I know that they'll guide me through what to do about it. So it's like I don't have to be so scared that I have to avoid things or thinking about things or talking about things, which is nice because that makes the things way less scary because it's not like, oh god, don't think about them or you'll never escape. It's like I can talk about this stuff, and it kind of becomes like part of daily life, just learning to manage around it without it being like this big scary unmentionable thing. We're kind of getting used to trauma. I mean, I guess some people in here have been used to it our whole lives, but I'm getting used to it and not like avoiding it and dreading it and worrying about when it's gonna rear its head, but like getting used to how to adapt around it and not feeling scared all the time and feeling like it doesn't mean I'm alone or powerless. Dee's teaching me to fight with a sword inside, which is really fun. He's definitely like way gentler with me than he and Valentine are, because when they spar with swords they stab each other and they cut each other, and he's always just like, well, we can't die in here, and I'm like, I don't care, I don't want to get stabbed by a sword even if I can't die in there. Who wants to get stabbed by a sword? But anyway, he doesn't stab me with the sword, he's way gentler, so that's fine. I'm not a masochist, so I don't want to get stabbed by the sword. Things are better, way better than they used to be, way more connected to each other, and like learning what to do and how to fight instead of learning how to run away or hide from things, which doesn't work. So I feel better. I feel kind of scared, but like I don't feel terrified or frozen. I just feel kind of like I know there are times that I'm gonna feel afraid and that I'm gonna feel uncomfortable, but I know that I can cope with that. And I'm not looking forward to those, but I know that they won't wipe me out. So that's cool. I can't tell when I'm switching in my subsystem, you know? I don't know how that's working either. Because Valentine had like really bad total amnesia between all parts of his subsystem. which was really confusing for so many reasons. It was like you'd only remember 3 seconds, but every part of it would only remember like you wouldn't even man like 3 second memory, no idea of how the day had gone, but like totally different core beliefs and stuff from between one moment to the next, and switching like depending on what needed to be dealt with, but with no awareness between parts. So that was like really confusing. And Kyrie's is kind of like that, but kind of with not as bad amnesia. So it's like she can still kind of remember the flow of what's happened, but just feels a bit different between different parts, I think. And only some are totally blocked from each other. But I don't feel like I have. Like, I still feel like me whenever I switch, but I can't predict or plan or like assume that I'll know how I'll act or think. It's kind of like I'm a different person in that way. But I don't like blank time or anything, apart from maybe in like one age. So it's really confusing working out what's happened because I just feel like I get younger suddenly or older. I'm kind of trying to pay attention to that, I guess. Not really trying to change it, but I'm trying to pay attention and work out like what triggers it because I tried to control it last year. I was like trying to work out if I could change ages on purpose. I can trigger myself to change ages on purpose, but I couldn't actually like do it in a controlled way, like not to every age, and it wasn't exact, and didn't always work. But I worked out that I switched depending on like what trigger. There can be good triggers and bad triggers. So like I'm kind of trying to pay attention to like what triggers me to suddenly feel like I'm a different age and think of which memories when, I guess, so that I can kind of work out what happens. And I'm getting loads of random memories from our childhood. So far, I haven't gotten anything horrifying, but just just some kind of like some memories about cool dogs that we used to live near, and like some not so cool memories about hanging around with like family friends that were really really toxic, but we didn't know they were toxic when we were younger because that was just kind of how we thought everyone engaged. And thinking about like working out where we had too much responsibility and where like I guess where I didn't feel protected. So I guess that stuff's kind of horrifying in some ways. I don't feel like unsafe now. Hey puppy. So I feel relief that we feel safe now. But it's like I didn't realize adults weren't supposed to like scream at you for putting your cup on a table where it's supposed to go and be really unpredictable and unfair. And I didn't realize that parents were supposed to stop that from happening because it's kind of just normal for people to shout at each other as far as I'm used to. And Valentine would always scream at them back. He wasn't scared. So I'm thinking a lot about that sort of stuff. And those are the kind of memories I'm getting. And like realizing what was normal and what wasn't. It's kind of weird. It's kind of world flipping. And kind of validating and really sad. And kind of relieving because like a part of me feels like I knew when it wasn't fair, but nothing around me confirmed or said it wasn't fair. So it's nice to know that I was right and that some things weren't fair. So I'm trying to pay attention, I guess, and like accept the memories I'm getting and think about them with the lenses of what we know now. And then also trying to pay attention to what made those memories come up, and if I feel like I'm a different age, and what made that happen. And that's basically it, I think. I feel a lot better, and I'm really tired now, so I'm gonna go. Valentine or Kyrie are gonna cook some dinner, which is gonna be great. I'm gonna sneak a whole face full of pie. I'm gonna stuff my pie hole all full of pie. It's delicious. It's strawberry and the crust is so buttery. I am. I am going to. They want me to eat real food first, which I definitely will do.